What's going on, internet? Welcome back to the URL versus IRL podcast. Happy Tuesday, and more importantly, happy holidays. I hope that you guys are excited about Thanksgiving coming up. I'm excited about Thanksgiving coming up. Quite honestly, I wasn't sure if I was going to do an episode around the holiday season or if I was just going to take a week off. I wasn't really sure what to do. And then I got to talking about it out loud, as I do with everything else, and I realized that it might actually be kind of nice for some people to have a little bit of a Thanksgiving holiday episode coming out, to maybe provide a little bit of comfort for you if the holidays are not so easy for you. Everybody has different experiences with the holidays, so I brought two people that I am very thankful for onto the podcast today. So let's roll the intro music and get into it. You're tuning into URL versus IRL, hosted by Bree Lynch. Welcome back to the podcast, you guys.
We're back.
Josh and Ryan.
Oh,
I'm very
hello,
excited to have you guys
hello.
here.
We are back. Oh my God, Ryan, it feels like talking on the podcast with you seems like a distant memory.
You know what's crazy is the three of us have not been in this room together all recording.
Yeah.
We have not done a
Oh my
podcast
God.
episode in this room yet.
That is
Together.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so true, and I've literally I've went from being on the episodes to just totally being an active listener for a while.
Yeah.
I was here for Casey, but then that's pretty much been it for a bit.
Do you want to tell
and-
people why that was your last episode recently?
So there's a couple different reasons. One, obviously you've had amazing guests, so
Thanks.
that's great. But also I moved.
Yeah.
I moved.
Boo!
Hiss.
Boo, hiss.
Yeah, so I went from living right across the street from you guys to living almost 2 hours away. So
Yeah.
but
That
I'm in the area for work all
so
the time. So I'm definitely going to be here more.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm just really happy to be here. I'm glad that we can do this, and yeah, I think this is a really good topic. It was something that I was maybe one of a couple of people Bria talked to about this, and I also think that it's important to check in with our people.
Yeah.
Not just listeners of the podcast, but anybody that you have in your life on the holidays, to check in with them. I think it's super important.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel like the holidays are such a weird time for everybody. Not even always a great time, but just weird in general. Cause
It's tough because there's a numerous amount of things that people could be dealing with when it comes to the holidays. I feel like whether it's grief or financial struggles or family
dynamics,
tension,
yeah.
it's almost this never-ending cycle every year.
Right.
And then also people have to be reminded that every year they have to do the same song and dance.
I was going to say, let me be realistic, because I personally feel like I have a really good relationship with my family. I love my family. It was really difficult for me for the past 10 years because I wasn't living in the same state as them to get on the flight and come to do the holiday and not
Right.
be stressed doing that. But I think that even this year, now living in the same state as everybody else, it still stresses me the fuck out.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think that that's a thing that absolutely needs to be normalized, because people are like, oh my God, I'm so excited for the holidays and blah, blah, blah. I could not even think about fucking decorating our house. That is the last thing that I would think of. And I don't know when I'm actually going to finally get to that point where I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to decorate and do all these cute things and try to do
Absolutely.
activities and shit. It stresses me out, and I don't even fucking cook. So I have no reason to be stressed out about Thanksgiving.
You just show up.
Just show up. You know
You
what
don't even eat turkey.
I don't even eat turkey.
God. What the fuck?
You don't even eat the mac
Oh
and
my
cheese.
God, wait, I don't even eat turkey.
You eat turkey though, Ryan. So
I eat everything,
Yeah.
to be honest. I was just talking about this with my girlfriend the other day. We were trying to pick a restaurant, and really it's just if she likes it, because I'm gonna find something. But
yeah.
I like holiday food. So yeah, definitely not an issue for me in that category. But there are so many things that people go through during this time, and I thought of this while you were talking, but I also think that a lot of people just struggle with comparison to what's going on in their feed or in the stories that they hear,
Yup.
whatever it is. I think a lot of people imagine, when you say, oh, the holidays are stressful, I think people think of Home Alone.
Mm.
The first, the first part of Home Alone, when the entire family is in the house and everyone's trying to prepare for that vacation, the Christmas vacation,
Yeah.
that's what people think is the busy part of the holidays, or the stressful part of the holidays. But what it really is how it affects each person emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
internally.
Yep.
Because I don't think everybody's honestly has as much stress in that category as
That's a great
it's
point to
portrayed.
make,
Yeah.
because
God, I fucking love having you guys on the podcast. Y'all know what to
I
fucking
was
do.
gonna, I was
You
gonna
guys
say,
know
yeah,
what we're here for.
that's a great point you make, because everybody, like movies like Home Alone,
Right.
make it out to be that this stressful event, or it only happens at that one time in that one moment.
Right.
No,
And-
it's for
and
fucking weeks before.
it's
like,
for months before.
months,
you know?
weeks, yeah.
And a lot of people, they have to start planning how they're going to do things, order of operations wise, going into the holidays and going into the spending, and then guess what's the day after Thanksgiving?
Black Friday. Yep.
So I think people put so much pressure on each other, whether it's family or friends, or I don't know, an extended family of any kind of sort, that always put this pressure, making it feel like the one day, or I think it's the misconception aspect of it is where I think I actually wanted to talk about, where everybody just thinks it's the one day, but it's everything else leading up to it.
I can't believe I fucking forgot about Black Friday. Like, Black Friday is literally on Friday,
I
right after Thanksgiving.
I honestly always forget about it.
I
Like,
So do
always
I.
forget
And
about
then I
it.
get stressed out because now you want me to think a whole month ahead? A month ahead for how many fucking people? I have like 10 people in my family, plus your family now. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
my
like plus
goodness.
whatever friends and stuff like that.
I've
Like
had friends even invite me to like their black, because them and their families would, which I don't think was proper grammar at all. They go out, they go out to all these different shops, the
Right.
malls, everything like that, as a tradition of Black Friday.
yeah,
And
yeah.
fuck that. I'm not
not-
trying to go anywhere with my family on Black
Well,
Friday. I'm
right.
stressed enough
because
trying
you
to go to the
already know
mall.
the roads are going to be fucking rampant. You already know the stores are going to be fucking rampant. I mean, there's
parking.
the parking. People have actually genuinely died on Black Friday from
Oh my
being like
God.
trampled.
And-
I mean,
yeah.
and that's not something that's happened in more recent times, but you know,
No, and it's true, and not to be like anti-establishment, Ryan, but also like, how many people do we know? Josh, you were one of them in your early adult life. People who work in retail,
oh,
Yeah.
and how bad this time is for. Like, if you know people who work in retail
Mhm.
from this period right now, like from mid-November through January 1st,
Mhm.
some of the worst times of their lives. Like, to be honest, as people who work in retail, like
Yeah.
it's literally hell for them. Even if they have a great family and they have a great Christmas and a great Thanksgiving, like when they are working, a lot of them miss Thanksgiving dinner or they have to leave early.
Yeah.
Like it's
every
that's a part of it too.
every Black Friday I would work at Hot Topic. I would always have either smoked some kind of thing like a nicotine device and take Adderall so that I could
Sheesh.
just get through my life. And then I would have the most lethal amount of caffeine in my system. Mind you, I will have already ingested 400 milligrams of caffeine before 7 a.m. And so
Good God.
I hated Black Friday with a passion. I
Yeah.
absolutely hated
You
it.
ain't in retail no more, baby.
I'm not in retail no more. I will never step foot in retail ever again. And it's only because of the treatment that they get. But Black Friday and the holidays just make it increasingly harder and harder. But again, that's not what that episode's about, or this episode is about.
But it's just one of the many factors though that goes into the stress. Because once again, we all know people who work in retail, whether it's a primary career or a secondary job, because that's a thing.
But now
right
even
now.
warehouse workers because of fucking Cyber Monday the next
Yeah.
day.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
well, not the next day, but like.
So
literally
look at
right
how many
after.
people that affects. Look at all the
Yeah.
people who work jobs like that. So I think it is very relevant
Absolutely.
to the part of the holiday stress.
Not
It's
us
becoming-
immediately jumping into all the negative things about the holiday.
Even though we said it wasn't going to be negative.
No,
but
I
that's
mean,
okay.
but it's just the reality of it. And like, to be fucking honest, like this is URL versus IRL. Like, what did you really expect?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is, like I said, there are people who, if we're gonna stick with the retail thing, they could have great holidays with their families. It's
Yes.
just this is just an added stressor. Like for them, that's the added stressor. For some people, it's their family is the added stressor. So like, I just
And
think
then,
talking about all of the
1000%.
factors is relevant.
well,
yeah.
then there's also people that are like struggling financially, and then now the holidays make that even more hard because now you're like stressed out and you're like, who am I gonna like? How am I gonna be able to afford a gift for this person? Am I gonna
Right.
even go Black Friday shopping or like Cyber Monday shopping or whatever? Like
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
The gift giving causes so many silent and forward like feuds in families.
yeah.
Like even if it's not overt and there's no conversation about it, I feel like there's a lot of passive aggressive judging or
Yeah.
like silent judgment for like whoever in the family is the one that's struggling financially this year, or like you have a family where like there's 3 siblings and now all the siblings have kids, like all the
Mhm.
adult siblings have kids, so now there's like a ton of cousins,
Yeah.
And there are families where it's like, hey, can we just like not do gifts for all of it? Like, can we just do like one, trade this way or trade that way, or we don't do no one does gifts for the kids, like
Yeah.
just because everyone
Yeah.
is struggling right now, like it's hard.
But then also, there's
And then that prevents some people from showing up. They're like, you know what? They don't even ask their family. In their head, they just go, I can't afford gifts, so I'm not coming to Christmas or whatever. And I think that sucks.
Well, really quickly before you continue, something that I was gonna say was that after my dad died, like my family changed the whole dynamic of gift giving. Mind you, I have a family of 6. I'm the 6th, and so gift giving was almost damn near impossible and expensive every single go around. So we now do like a
you guys do
Secret Santa,
yeah.
white elephant kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's great because it puts everyone on an even playing field.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It makes everybody feel very least amount of stress with finances. Especially it takes a huge and heavy burden off of my mother, even though my mother still loves to get each one of us like an individual gift of some sort. But she's not going crazy anymore like she tried to used to when we were younger.
Sure.
So,
but I think there's also like the opposite end of that too. Like even if you're not necessarily struggling financially, let's say you're like a person that makes really good money, people are judging you for how much money you spent on the person's gift that you just gave them.
That's actually a really good point as well. Yeah, that it's true. Yeah, it's like, oh well, doesn't Uncle Steve like make
$150,000 a year?
Yeah. Like, why is he skimping out on gifts?
Yeah. Why did I get a $20 gift card?
And it's just crazy because I think that I'm sorry guys, but the consumerism of the holidays.
Here we go. Ryan's back on Euro.
We cannot stand postmodern consumerism. It is the worst fucking invention ever. But we're all hypocrites because we all enjoy it in some facet.
Right. So, it's tough, but I do think, like, not to go into why I hate it. Just I think it has added so much extra stress in general to people during this time period. Yeah.
1000%.
Yep.
I think it's made the world a lot more superficial and materialistic in every capacity that I could ever think of.
Sure.
I think that now it gives an outlet to specific individuals, and I'm not name dropping because I know a lot of people who are not like this. Actually, the circle that I have are very generous with their gift options. And sometimes if they don't get splurged on too heavily, they're like, okay, well, this year I would like to really try to get this. And even if you want to help me with some money toward this as a Christmas gift, I would really love that. And I'm like, hell yeah. But with more products and devices coming out of the woodworks and becoming more and increasingly more expensive, I think now people are getting away with the idea that whether it's family, friends, a loved one like a partner or something of that nature, a fiance, wife, anyone, there's like a specific expectation that like during the holidays, Christmas, you're gonna just splurge and spend your whole bank account on this one specific thing. If I don't get anything else this holiday, it's gonna be this one specific thing. And that's not me trying to sound like frugal or anything like that. I'm just saying that that's sometimes the reality of it for some people's perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we've been talking about Christmas.
We've been talking about Christmas a lot,
literally. But I think it's just because it's at the forefront of all of our brains because like Thanksgiving is literally this fucking week. You know what I mean? So we're anticipating that. But then there's also like, I think another thing that we haven't even gotten to touch on a little bit. Not that we're making this entire fucking podcast negative. Sorry for anybody that's like, what the hell is this vibe?
No, I got some positive things in the tank.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Me too. We're gonna get to that next.
Please stay and listen.
Yeah.
Please.
Another thing I was gonna say is I feel like holidays can also be really stressful if you're like maybe have a partner and you have families to split between because maybe you both have good relationships with your family or you both feel like obligated to go and see those families. Then you have to like split it up and then you're like, okay, if I'm going to do like earlier in the day with these people and then later in the day with these people or like whatever, and then it's like it's hard, or like then the two of you have to split up and then you guys got to go separate ways. Like it's just it's so many things. And then also for me specifically, let me tell you what I fucking stress out about on Thanksgiving. The fact that I don't cook because I fucking burn everything makes me feel like not unimportant, but like it makes me feel like I am useless in that sense.
Sure.
And I always feel like I'm in the way. And I think that like as a woman, like I feel like I am looked at as if I'm expected to help in the kitchen, but realistically, I will help you clean up because I'm gonna get in your fucking way. Like I literally can't help you. So I feel like that's another even smaller thing, you know what I mean? Or then you're like, oh, can I bring something? Or like, what are people allergic to? What can I not bring? What can I do? Then there's also all the dietary restrictions. It's a lot.
Well, and then also like you mentioned, like oh, I'm going to split the day. Oh, maybe you go to yours. Maybe what happens when, I have a buddy who met his fiance in college
Mm-hmm.
and he's from New Jersey and she's from like one of the New England states.
Yep.
So now they literally split on holidays
Yep.
and then come to, they make it work, but like they come together for like the holiday season parts, but
Yeah.
like they spend the day, Thanksgiving, Christmas with their separate families, and then they come, it's tough.
That's what used
And-
to happen to me when I was
but-
living in California.
But not every family will accept that because like
then they get upset.
he'll be with his family and they'll be like, this is not her actual name. Where's Joyce? Like, why isn't Joyce here?
Joyce
Joyce
is a crazy name to pull out of your ass.
And I know. And they're
Could've
like,
picked any other name.
and I literally could have picked any other name, but you know what I mean. Like, so like his family, this doesn't happen. I'm making all this up, but like his family could get judgmental. Like, oh, why does she feel like you guys could never split
Naturally,
holidays?
yeah.
And then that's
yeah.
another stressor on her, on him, on everyone.
Well, even
Like,
with
yeah.
Bree coming to New Jersey and now us having to split the holidays, I'll tell you what, last year was one of the most stressful holidays I've ever had in
I
my
feel
I'll
like I
tell
remember
you what,
this.
Not Thanksgiving, Mother's Day stressed me the fuck
Yes,
out.
I remember you talking
Mother's
about
Day
that.
stressed me
Mother's
the fuck
Day.
out.
Mother's Day absolutely stressed me out, but we're not even going to talk about that.
Yeah,
But
Mother's Day was
it
crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah, and so there was that, and then also, yeah, it was just the holidays last year were just so stressful. It was like just like not like crazy, but it was small stupid things because we were just so fucking stressed out,
Oh yeah.
and like it almost made it feel like we couldn't make anyone in our families really happy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I hope they're listening and understanding
Not
that
him
it's
looking right at the
not
camera.
always easy to be at every given event at every given time when you don't live with your family anymore
Yeah.
and you're just trying to be an adult and you're just trying to get things done in this life, and it almost feels like in this modern world we live in, nothing can ever get done on time in the right time at any time.
Yeah.
And kind of branching off of that I think another stressor that happens in an attempt to prevent what you just were talking about is when people start combining families.
Oof. Yeah.
So like Bree and
Yeah.
Josh are together now, and the parents are getting older, and Bree and Josh are gonna host the
I
holidays
would
now.
fucking love to host the holidays, to be honest, even though I don't cook. Like, I would ask my mom to come over early and help me out with
I
cooking.
think going back to what I was saying though, like also then you're mixing families, and like for you guys that might not be bad because like maybe you guys have chill families, but
Yeah.
some people don't. Like some
No.
people are truly, while they love their parents, are embarrassed of the things that they are gonna say.
I
mixed
have
company.
some family members that will say some embarrassing shit. I'm
Right.
not going to name who.
But embarrassing, offensive, like whatever it is, like not,
yeah, like
not
I
like
cringe
teenager
sometimes.
embarrassed.
I'm like, oh my god, please stop talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yep.
sure. And also,
Yep.
I don't think this should be understated. This particular Thanksgiving and other Thanksgivings.
We
in
got
our
people with
lives-
different political views.
Well, and I was gonna say, and we're gonna be basically 3-4 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
removed from the election.
Yep.
And it's whatever the result is, it's
Yep.
gonna be off the presses, fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's the holiday season right after. So I think
And everybody's talking. Yep.
this year and every 4 years, I guess.
Somebody's going to
yeah.
be blaming somebody no matter what.
Right.
They're going to be like, oh, this one fucking this or this one fucking that. And that's
Yeah.
the reason that the prices are so high or they're so low or nobody has jobs or whatever it is. We're going to hear something no matter fucking what.
Because tensions are always high during an election year, and like I said, with Thanksgiving, it's going to be hot off the presses. Like
Yeah,
Mhm.
immediately.
we are literally going to be right in the aftermath of whatever that whatever happens there, and I think that's also very relevant.
Yeah,
And I
100%.
think basically between November 5th and was it November 28th,
Yeah.
people who know that their families are crazy about that stuff are going to be stressing for those 3 weeks,
Yes.
like about
Yeah.
Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
If you
Yeah, it's so true.
absolutely have a politically charged family, that is probably one of the most nerve-wracking holidays. Like Thanksgiving becomes the most nerve-wracking holiday at that point.
But then you even get people like me that are not political by any means. And like half the time I feel like I'm not educated enough. And then I'm going to have somebody talking in my ear
Right.
about whatever it is their opinion is, no matter what. I don't even have to respond. I could just be like, yeah, that's crazy.
Or
And
they'll
they would
just sit
keep
there-
talking.
Or they'll just sit there and ask you what you think about it, and then
I'd
you're
be like-
like, yeah,
Right.
yeah, what?
Exactly. God, what a reality check in the beginning of this episode. Should we talk about what we're thankful for? Should we do
Yeah.
that fucking cheesy
Oh
shit?
God.
Here's the thing also, not that I'm trying to be negative Nancy here, but I guess that's what I'm doing today. I feel like the other thing that I really can't stand is when you are going to maybe a family that you're not super duper comfortable with for whatever reason that is, and then they have everybody stand up and be like, what are you thankful for? And now I'm making you guys do that.
Well, in my family, my mom does a prayer circle, and we all have to hold hands and stand around with each other, which
mhm.
and we have to bow our heads, and then
Me keeping a completely straight face.
pray. Or I think we say what we're thankful for first individually, and
I think I
then
got
we
a pass
pray.
last year.
Then we pray, and I think you got passed.
I think I got a pass. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. If I couldn't, I can't remember correctly. But anyways, I
Yeah.
won't harp on that. But yeah, that's it. Definitely puts you on the spot, especially if you don't know what to say right away.
It's a good point, yeah, because all families have their own traditions. So
Yeah.
like that's another thing too. Like if you're like someone like Bree who is coming into a new situation,
Yeah.
like there's so many things you have to keep track of, and it's almost I'm not going to go on a tangent about capitalism, I promise, but it's just but like it's more so just like as a society though, we've very much created a uniform way to do the holidays, right? Like all of them.
Yeah.
Like everyone has their own little quirks and traditions and stuff, but like essentially like we get together and family's more important than everything, and
Mhm.
all this other stuff, and it's important that you make it home for Thanksgiving,
Ugh.
whatever it is.
That
And
shit's expensive sometimes, dog.
yeah, like, yeah, well, living in another state, living
Yeah.
across the country,
Yeah.
like, I've had other friends that, they went to colleges in other states and
Yeah.
they couldn't justify coming home for Thanksgiving weekend or Easter weekend. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean? Like,
skipped a
it's
Christmas
short.
one time, and that was a conversation.
Christmas is usually longer because a lot of people, not everyone, of course, some people go right back to work on January or December 27th,
Yeah.
but a lot of people get off between Christmas and New Year, so it's a little
Mhm.
more doable, so you
Yeah,
can justify the
yeah.
time. But like some of these weekend holidays, it's hard, and like and the thing is, right? Your parents are harping on you to come home. You paying for the flight?
Right.
Like you paying for the
The
flight?
flights are double
Exactly.
the amount. The flights are double the amount.
Yeah, man.
Yep. So
But yeah, I mean,
you-
I think that like even going back to the whole circle and what are you thankful for thing that I was trying to kind of bring into this because
Yeah.
I felt like it was expected, I guess. But even that, like you can be stressed the fuck out just trying to even think of anything that's gonna either match the weight of what other people say
Right.
or anything that you could actually be thankful for because some people like are really going through it during the holidays
Yeah,
because
man.
they might be dealing with like grief, loss, they might be lonely, they might not have the best relationship with their family or whatever it is. Like people are all dealing with something different and I feel like trying to put somebody in a weird position like that, especially in front of your entire family who's listening, is a little bit different because not everybody's like super comfortable with everyone in their family.
it also could set them off because
Yeah.
like it could be the straw for some people. There's people that always make analogies where they are like, oh my god, I could be having a perfect day, but then someone says one word and then all of a sudden I'm triggered and then I'm breaking down crying and falling on my knees and I'm like, what the hell?
Mhm.
So in that case, like when someone's like, oh, what are you thankful for, you could maybe just trigger someone and set them off because they either are thankful for so much but they're overwhelmed and they have no idea how to articulate it.
Oh my god, I had that happen to me one time.
And
I can tell the
then
story.
or they just have no idea what the fuck they're thankful for because it's been quite a year for them,
Yeah, absolutely.
and so it's just pressure. We keep going back to the concept of pressure. It's just constant pressure.
I will say though, you should keep an open mind because the one time that I did have that exact thing happen to me, where it like kind of like was a weird little like I literally became like a fucking waterfall. Like I don't even know what the hell happened, but I
Mhm.
was working with this group called Driven Dynamic in Michigan, and we just
Oh.
did like this like thing where like it was like this giant group of drivers. There was probably like 25 of us or something like that, and our boss Jeff does this thing where like at the end of every I guess event that
Mhm.
his drivers drive at, he has everybody go around the table and just like say what their highlight was or like something that they like appreciated or like a cool moment or something like that just from that experience, I guess. And I was very happy to be able to do that, but I was the first person that was like, because I was sitting next to him at that dinner, at the last dinner that we had. So I was the first person to go after talking. It was like after him talking.
That's tough in life in general.
it was super tough.
like in school, I was always like, I'll go second. I just don't want to go first. Like,
Yeah,
I
well,
need,
he
I
technically
need
went
somebody
first.
set the table for me.
Yeah,
Like,
he technically went first, and I went second. But like, I was in this not a brand new group of people because I had been with them for like 3.5 weeks by then. But like, I was overwhelmed with like gratefulness and gratitude, and I was just like, this has been the coolest group I have ever worked with my entire life, and I've actually felt like I'm a part of something here.
Right.
And that has not happened for me in my past 10 years of working in the movie industry. And I immediately was crying. Like, immediately, like, and then everybody else was crying, and, like, the whole table just ended up crying every time everybody spoke.
But so, okay, and that goes into some of the positive things,
Yeah.
honestly, that I feel about the holidays, because, yeah, of course.
Yeah, dig into that.
Of course they felt, I mean, granted, the crying is great
Mhm.
because it means that they really, like, were vibing with you. But I think in general, you know, we're very much in a time where everyone's coming at each other. Everyone's waiting for a got you moment. We're all arguing with each other all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone's so diametrically separated. But I will say that during this stretch of time, the holidays from Thanksgiving through New Year's,
Mm-hmm.
I do see a lot of good. Like,
Yeah.
people are inherently in a better mood when they're in public.
Mhm.
I know that there are times, of course, with the holiday crunch that people get stressed out, but and angry and give me that last toy or whatever. But like, I really do see a lot more altruism during that time, like just people really doing good things. And whether you have like religious affiliations with the holidays, or like, to me, like, I look at the holidays as just something that we've adopted as like American culture, as opposed to like, you know, anything attached to religion or, you know, like a separate culture. It's part of American culture that during the holidays, it's we try to inspire each other to be more giving, more caring, more.
Mhm.
And I really do think that comes through in a lot of settings during the holidays.
And I mean, during the holidays, the one thing you don't have to fucking pay anything for is kindness. Like, you could just be fucking nice.
Yeah.
You know?
and
Like,
you
it's
could
not
be like that all year,
It's
but
not that goddamn hard. Yeah, well, you could be like that all year, but
but-
it's just not that hard. People are struggling.
but you do see a lot of these good faith things happening during that time, whether
Yeah.
you see it online or
Yeah.
in person. Like, I see it all the time. I know it causes so much argument, in terms of like the culture war end of it, but I love that, like, during the holidays, like, people will say like happy holidays, like,
Mhm.
and
I was gonna say that's another thing with the holidays. Like, it's very easy to offend other people on accident, and
Yeah.
like that's because everybody has different things that they believe
Mhm.
in, and different like religions and faith and this and that and blah blah blah. For example, like for me, my family, I grew up in a family with two parents that had different religions from each other. So like we never actually celebrated Christmas in my house.
right.
So that was a weird thing for me. But then when my friends started exchanging Christmas gifts and this
Right.
and that, and people would come over and blah, 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 and we don't have a Christmas tree in our house. The outside of our house is decorated, but it's for winter decorations, not Christmas decorations. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's all that goes along with that as well. And then for me now, as like getting into adulthood, I was always trying not to offend my other parent that is
Sure.
not celebrating the holidays. But then if they're around for the holiday, I want to make sure that they're included. You know what I mean? But then
no,
also
it's a
like,
really tough balancing act for sure.
yeah. And now my
But-
parents aren't together. So like now there's a whole, it's.
But I will say, and not your parents specifically, but just in situations, right, where you have to tiptoe around people's like particular beliefs and stuff. I just think in general, and maybe I'm on an island with this.
People should realize somebody's trying to be kind.
Just like, there's ways to be generally kind
Yeah.
that have nothing to do with, or like I said, these affiliations that we have. Like, I just think it's cool that people do extra kind things during the holidays. Like,
Yep.
you see
Yep.
the videos, and I know someone's gonna say, oh, they're just doing it for clicks. Maybe some people are, but like, I love like hearing the stories of like, somebody is at a restaurant on like just a random day in December, right? Like December 9th, but because it's the holiday season, they tip their waitress 100%.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like,
Dude,
you
I see
changed her week,
videos.
man. Like, that's awesome.
I
like,
see videos all the time, even negating from the holidays, where people are just going into small-owned businesses that serve food,
Yeah.
buying like the entire menu essentially, and going and just feeding the local homeless
Right.
population. And then sometimes the actual small business owners are like, "Oh, whoa, man! Like, either let me pay for half of that, or the whole thing's free because I love what you're doing. I'll watch your videos and everything like that." And when I see people
That's
do stuff
crazy,
like
yeah.
that, sure, could be for views. Maybe it's the way they're monetizing how they can afford to feed the homeless. But guess what? To me, a lot of times they're doing more than some of the local government and our actual genuine government's doing.
also,
And
not for nothing,
so-
like, when I see videos like that, it inspires. Like, even if it's completely scripted and this guy is doing it for money and blah 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 blah, he helps somebody. He gets a little bit of clout for it. I don't love it, but I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm then inspired to do stuff like that. Like, I really do. Like, not that I'm out here, like, I'm not rich, but like, whatever it is I can do, those type of videos make me like, man, like
It makes
I really
you
want to do stuff like
it
that.
makes
Mhm.
you like innately somehow want to pay it forward in some capacity
Absolutely.
within your own means,
Yeah,
of
of
course.
course.
Like,
Yeah.
that's how it makes you feel.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I love that kind of I love the idea of good faith, and once again, outside of the political, parts of like happy holidays versus Merry Christmas. I just mean in general though, when you're in public and people are saying that to each other, to complete strangers, I think that's like so nice and
Mhm.
so warm
Mhm.
in a time where people are quite the opposite. Like,
Yeah.
it's very to me, I always feel a little bit more inspired and a little bit more like I believe in humanity again
Mhm.
during that time, because it shows that there are people who are it shows that people are inherently good,
Yeah.
for one, and it shows just how powerful like good faith gestures can be, even
Yeah.
no matter how big or small.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that it seems like people kind of focus on trying to be positive during the holidays, especially because a lot of people do realize that people are like going through different things, and some people are grieving, and
Right.
some people are lonely, and financial discrepancies, and all that kind of thing. But I do feel like it's really important for people to focus on filling their own cup before you focus on filling somebody else's cup,
Sure.
because I think that with like families, for example, let's say you're going to spend your Thanksgiving or your holiday with your family, like there's a lot of pressure from some families to make sure that you're there, and you're there at a certain time, and you bring a certain thing, and you dress a certain way, and you know what I mean? You stay for a certain period of time. Even if you are coming and you're making it work, like
Yeah.
people will be judgmental for you leaving early or you showing up late or whatever. So
Yeah, some people's families, it's never enough.
no, it's literally never enough. So that's why I'm saying it's like so important, if our audience that's listening can remember anything that I'm going to say in this entire podcast, it's to make sure that you are taking care of you first, because you are not going to be able to pour anything from your cup into somebody else's if you have nothing to give. You know what I mean? So like you really need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself first and foremost. Like if you woke up late that day and you need to take as much time as you need to be able to get ready and get out of your house, like yeah, sure, I'm sure they're going to miss you, but at least you're going to show up. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And honestly, I think that that's something that I learned it throughout my life, because I was always so like stressed out about being on time all the time, that I would show up to something like completely disheveled because I was trying to be on time. And like realistically, like I'm not feeling good now when I'm there because I didn't take care of myself beforehand. If I like woke up late or something happened or whatever,
Right.
and then I'm stressed and I'm carrying all this stress with me into that situation, rather than just taking my time and doing what I need to do for myself and taking care of myself first, so that I can show up for the people that are asking me to show up for them.
Right.
You know, and like I said, there was one year that I had to skip coming home on Christmas because I had just worked a job in like London or something. And I got home maybe like 2 days prior. So I went from London to
Sheesh.
California, and I was supposed to go from California back to New Jersey.
Ooh.
So there's literally almost no time to regenerate and
I didn't even have time
revitalize at all.
to do
Yeah.
laundry, like at all.
It's just not fair.
Well, I had my plane ticket booked to go to New Jersey, and I called my mom the day before Christmas, and I was like, I can't.
I feel like I remember this, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you were stressed about like the gift situation as well.
Yes, and my apartment was like fucking empty. Like I didn't even have that much in my apartment yet,
Right.
and I was just like, I just need to sit here and do absolutely nothing for once and just sleep. I was also stressed about the gift giving situation, because I was like, now I have to ship all these gifts to somebody else's house, and then I have to
Right.
wrap them as soon as I get there, and then if people give me gifts, then I have to bring this stuff back with me sometime. Like first world
Yeah,
problems,
man.
but very fucking stressed. And that was the first time that I ever chose to like fill my cup before other people's, you know? And I was just like, I'll FaceTime you guys on Christmas. Like
And
I
this
love
is
you,
great
but
for your listeners to hear, because especially for the unsung, heroes out there that are kind of going through it and really having a very difficult time this year, and or just having a difficult time during this holiday season, and any holiday season that you may have, pushed through and remain steadfast through each and every year. It goes, your life does not go unnoticed, because a lot of what you might be feeling and a lot of what you might be going through is definitely experienced, or a shared experience is what I want to say, amongst people you don't even know.
yeah.
And whether that pertains to all of us, and for us three, it doesn't always pertain to us every single year, but maybe it pertains to us more years than not so many years, and this is a great way for us to be able to connect with those people.
Yeah.
who are probably listening right now, and they know that Thanksgiving's a few days away, and they're like, well, what the hell?
Also, another thing that I want to address is, like, I know not everybody is, like, close with their family. Not everybody has family,
This is
you
where I was
know?
about to go. Yeah.
Yeah, some
Mhm.
people have, like, their chosen family that they're gonna, like, go and try to spend time with their friends, or maybe you don't feel like you have anybody, but I feel like something that I also want people to hear me say, if anything, is to seek out people that make you feel good, seek out things that make you feel good, and, like, focus on good energy coming to you, especially if this is a harder time for you during the
Yeah.
year. Because that's super important. That's a part of, like, filling your cup, because then maybe you can reciprocate that a little bit and do a little good because you're receiving a little good. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like if I'm gonna push anybody to do anything, I would rather push them to seek out good energy, or at least things that are gonna make them feel good. Like, if you like painting, like, maybe
man.
paint on the day of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I think, to be pretty candid, like, for me personally, it's been years since I've spent a holiday with my own family.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, kind of related to what you're saying, I think it's really important to not be a glutton for punishment during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that a lot of the times, and I'm guilty of this myself, I like, because I'm not doing it with my family, I should just not do it at all.
Mm.
If you want to make yourself like a fucking rotisserie chicken
Yeah.
and share it with your dog on Thanksgiving night, fucking go for it. You
But
know what
also,
I mean?
don't be afraid to, like, reach out to your people in that time
I
around the year.
agree.
You know what I mean? 'Cause
I was gonna say
maybe-
that too. Yeah, like, also, if you get this was me, right? Like, I had a friend who had found out that I wasn't doing anything on a Thanksgiving with anybody, invites me to be with his family, and because, like, I don't think I'm worthy of that, I was like hesitant, resistant to going because I didn't want to feel like this charity case. You're not.
Mm.
If someone's asking you to be there,
They would love to have you there.
they want you there. There are hardly any people in this life. By the way, this was my best friend. One of my best friends asked me to
Yeah.
do this. So why should I feel as if he's doing it out of obligation?
Yeah.
Yeah, like as a favor. Not
Nobody
really.
invites you to an event where their family is gonna be in that kind of way. Like, it's not because they feel obligated to invite you, it's because they want you to be there.
And
Yeah.
the
And
big
don't be a glutton for punishment. Like, just go.
Also,
It's
they
okay.
care.
Or
like,
don't if you don't want to,
Yeah.
truly. But if your reason is because I don't want to be a nuisance, I don't want to be a charity case, put that aside.
that
Like,
ain't it.
yeah.
But see, the thing is, and actually to piggyback off of that, is that the people that are inviting you know their families better than anyone, and if they were afraid that
Yeah.
their family would act adversely to you being there, they probably just wouldn't have invited you to begin with.
Yeah.
100%.
If they didn't think that their family would be full of love and embrace and gratitude and compassion throughout that entire holiday period
Like,
and
yeah.
this holiday period coming up,
Yeah, no,
it's-
I couldn't agree more.
yeah, I think that's a great point you made, because there's so often times that I feel people who don't have a lot going on, and there's nothing wrong with not having anything going on during
Right.
Thanksgiving. Again, going back to what you said in the analogy, like, you want to have a fucking rotisserie chicken with your dog, all game. You want to throw some Netflix on, watch a holiday movie, amazing. If the idea of that is going to bring you more strife than excitement,
Exactly.
I would say probably don't be so quick to push away an invite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you really just in your head have come to a place in your life, and maybe it can change in the future, but right now, if you feel like Thanksgiving, you just want it to be the 4th or 3rd Thursday of November,
Mhm.
that's also okay.
Yeah.
That's
Like-
literally
like,
fine.
you're
Like, you
allowed
get to,
to
like, if you just want to treat it like a day off, like, oh wow, I got a day off from work,
Yeah.
that's also fine. Like,
Yeah.
there
If that's
should,
gonna
like,
fill your cup, fucking do that.
yes, exactly.
Do
'Cause-
that.
But I think for a long time, for me, it was a mixture of that self-glutton punishment where I was rejecting
100%.
invites
Mm-hmm.
and being like, no, like, I deserve to be alone because I made, because this is the thing, right? People consciously make these choices. I'm choosing not to go this year to Thanksgiving. I'm
Mhm.
choosing this year not to go to this family event
Mhm.
because it's going to bring me XYZ. Or also, like, you just don't feel like that fills your cup, makes you happy. Like, because everyone's family dynamic is different. In my case, I just felt like I was going, like the last 4 or 5 years I was going because, like, I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
And I'm naturally
that.
resistant to doing anything because I'm supposed to.
Good for you.
Um,
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a hard choice because you still have these societal norms. So when you don't do something that's within those norms, you feel as if you're doing something wrong. And
Yeah.
I would sit and sulk all day in my
Mhm.
in my own self-pity. Not even sad because I wasn't there, but sad that I didn't feel bad that I wasn't there.
And
You know,
forget-
like
and
how
for-
convoluted is that? Like,
Yeah,
And
it's
and
tough.
let's make matters worse in that aspect again, not to try to be super negative in this realm. Forget about just the social aspect of it, as far as either not being with the family or friends or whoever the chosen family is. Social media has
Thank you.
amplified
oof, yeah.
has amplified this level of
Imagery.
imagery and unrealistic expectation
Yup.
of holiday I guess celebratings. Like people they've got like a 50-foot tall Christmas tree in their house. I'm exaggerating, but
Or a
50
50-foot long table.
or a 50-foot long table with
Mhm.
all the friends, all the families,
Gold
and
plates,
playing all
gold
these
silverware.
games and everything
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, and then like they all just look so happy, so pristine, and everyone's like, oh, but they're faking that shit because it's just social media and they just want to look good on to everyone in their social
Right.
media to make it seem like their families are so happy during the holiday season. But it's like, regardless, that's fine, and that I totally understand that. I just wish they would be a lot more candid
Also,
and transparent about that,
something.
because
Yeah.
Yeah, because they could
it's
post
doing
they could post that whole family portrait and then get into an argument when they go to dinner. Like, you don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And also, like, I think that more like complex family dynamics really need to be normalized, because I don't think that everybody's family is like picture perfect. Like I said, I have a great relationship with my families.
I think most
Love my
people's
families.
families are not picture perfect.
No,
There's
seriously.
no such thing.
But what I was
Yeah.
gonna say is my family dynamic is also complex as fuck.
Sure.
Like, as much as I feel like I have a great relationship with my family and this and that and blah blah blah, I was out of the state for 10 years. You know what I mean? So like, I
there's a
might not have been
disconnect there.
involved in all of the like drama, and there's a little bit of a disconnect or whatever. Or like, there's one side of my family and then another side of my family. Like, it is normal to have a little bit of a more complex dynamic with your family, and that is literally fucking fine. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to feel like your family has to be perfect. And also, like, again, you can choose who your family is in a sense. Like, you can choose who you want to be around. You can choose if your friends are your family, or like
Yeah, yeah.
which family members you actually want to deal with versus which ones you don't. Like, it's totally okay for you to walk out the fucking house if your uncle shows up. Maybe you don't need to make a whole scene about it, but it's okay if that's what you're gonna do. Go there in the fucking morning. As soon as he shows up, you can dip.
Oh, and this is what I said to you when I thought it would be a good idea to not skip this week
Yeah.
episode wise.
I'm glad you
Was-
convinced me into it.
Was that like on a holiday, if you need 45 minutes or an hour or however long this episode or another one of your podcast, that's why that's what I do, right? Like, I have a couple of podcasters that I listen to who make episodes, and like, this is for the people who are spending their holidays alone. Like,
Yeah.
I'm giving you an hour
Mm-hmm.
to at least not be alone in this way,
Yeah.
or to distract you. Like you said, if that family member starts talking about politics, or they just are there and you can't stand them, you can walk to the other room and just
Yeah.
like pop in your earbuds for an hour
Mm-hmm.
and get away from it for a little bit. Like,
Yep.
it's
Go sit in your
all-
car.
go sit in your car, go upstairs.
You could go to a
if,
fucking
like,
park. Like,
it doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
just doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And you get, I imagine most people who are listening to this are at least at an age where they can make their own decisions, not necessarily an adult, but like at 16, you can still make a lot of your own decisions, or whatever.
just like you chose to put this podcast on.
Right. Exactly.
same
So if that's what you need, or if you go into the night going, look, I'm really just gonna, and yes, and wow, that's crazy, everyone
Damn,
to
that's
death all
crazy.
night.
Yep. Mhm.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And if you want to just sit next to that one cousin that you love, that you get to see maybe once or twice a year and just talk to them all night, also great. And if you don't want to talk to anybody,
You can DM me.
also great. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually that's another thing that I used to do when I would go to the holidays that I didn't want. I would find that person that I could text all day, or a
Yep.
couple of people.
That was
so,
me a couple years.
So I had all of these, and I
Mhm.
I would just text people all day because I'm like, at least I can like talk to people that I actually want to talk to.
Yeah.
And you just whatever you need to do to
Mhm.
make these experiences
Better.
better for yourself.
Yep.
And just much less triggering, painful, boring.
Mhm.
Even some people are just
Yes.
bored to death. That honestly, that was me for a while because like my extended family, I just never really felt connected.
Yep.
At all.
There's that too.
It like it's not even necessarily love or hate. It's just like I just don't know you people that well, and I'm not really sure why I'm still showing up
Yeah.
to these.
Mm-hmm.
So I was bored. I was literally just freaking bored. So
Yeah.
like whatever you have to do, like, if you're a sports person and there's a TV on with the football game in the other room, go watch the game. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like it's all okay. I just think anything that has to do with pressure, just do anything you can to relieve that pressure or guilt.
Yes.
So
Also,
much guilt.
speaking of pressure, going back to the whole like table settings and 50-foot tall Christmas
Yeah.
trees, please do whatever the fuck you can do that's realistic for you. Like, work with what you have. There's no need to have fucking 24 karat gold silverware. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're seeing one thing on social media does not mean that it's fucking real and that it's like that for everybody. That shit could be rented. For
Yeah.
all you
Oh
know.
my goodness! Please,
You know what I'm saying?
Just
Like-
to have a very environmentally friendly Christmas,
Yeah.
go get some compostable plates and forks, and then when everybody's done eating their food, throw that shit in the trash
Also-
or throw it in your compost bin because
Also, yeah.
You don't need fucking fancy china for Thanksgiving dinner. Also, no offense, grandparents.
some people are
but-
just gonna fucking show up, eat, and leave.
And
Yeah.
also, like, don't let your random aunt judge you for getting a fake tree, or like, because that's also a big contention
that
point.
too.
Like, you didn't get her. Like, if it say you're like a young person who's married and maybe you have like one kid, and it's like, I'm gonna be the one who hosts the holidays for the first time,
Yes.
and your one douchebag, family member comes in and goes, "Oh, you got a fake tree."
Also, your family or whoever it is that you're spending time with making unnecessary comments about you, do your best to contain yourself if you can. I had somebody in my family recently that commented on my hair color a couple too many times, and I was just like, yes, my hair's blue. Like, did you come on? Like, come on. You know what I'm fucking saying?
They're
like,
literally
just,
that commercial with the guy who has to train people, like the old people, not to like point things out. Like, blue hair's blue.
yeah,
Oh
I
my
just
God.
like, yeah, it is blue. Last week it was pink. What do you want? You know what I mean? Like, but like, just prepare yourself for that, and also know that like you need to just do whatever is gonna make you happiest. Again, fill your own cup. Me personally, I fucking love having blue hair. I liked when my hair was pink. I like it better blue. Now it's fucking blue. What is it affecting you? It's really not. It's not staining all of your clothes. It's staining mine. So
Absolutely. When I bought this house, the only thing I ever wanted was a black Christmas tree, and I love real Christmas
yes.
trees. I love real Christmas trees, but the problem I have with real Christmas trees is the cleaning aspect and
Mhm.
maintenance
Absolutely.
of them. It's the most annoying thing ever, and not for nothing.
You don't wanna
the
chop a
holiday
tree
only
down.
comes once a year.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound lazy. I don't want to fucking clean it. It's just a headache. I've also got dogs. Like,
I was
don't
just
want
about
the
to say
dog-
that. Like, what
I
if
don't
you
want
have
the dogs
animals?
to fuck around
Yeah.
with it. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so when I first moved here, I got a black Christmas tree. And honestly, even to this day, because I put this tree up every year, even to this day, I get like kind of a 50-50 reaction on it.
I
Like,
love your
people-
guys' black
I
tree.
love the black Christmas tree, but there are actually some people
I'm 50-50
that
on it.
probably listen to the podcast too that just hate it. And like
I'm
hate,
like 50-50
they
on
hate-
it.
I love it.
She I think is also another one. I'm shit talking you right now
You're
because
You're
I
not
think
shit-talking
I
me.
think
I don't hate
I think
it. I'm just
I don't think you
50-50.
hate it, but I think you were 50-50 because I think you just at first you were like,
I've never had a Christmas tree in my house, so I was like semi
Oh,
looking forward to
that
like
makes
a
sense.
green, big, fluffy Christmas tree. And that's just me because I've never had a Christmas tree in my house. Even
you-
when I had an apartment, I didn't have a Christmas
But you know
tree.
why you guys have a healthy relationship? Because you didn't judge him and you didn't judge her.
Yeah,
no,
you can have preferences
yeah.
and not judge people.
no 100%,
Yeah.
and not for
I didn't like
nothing-
the little tree. I wanted the bigger one.
But,
When you
what-
got the bigger one down from the attic, then I shut the fuck up.
correct. When I got the 6 foot tall one,
Yeah, the
but,
big one.
But
Compromise.
the
Yes.
thing is like I know your expectation was like the big and
Not even
fluffy green
expectation. I was
tree.
just excited for that, like a little bit, but also like
your
I was not.
expectation. Yeah.
I was excited,
Yeah.
not like expecting it. But I think I don't know. I mean, well, no, actually, you're wrong. I'm gonna tell you you're wrong right fucking now
Uh-oh.
because I was judging you for that Christmas tree because you had it up in fucking February. That's why I was judging you for that Christmas tree.
Oh, I don't
not
even,
even because
I'm not
it was
even gonna
black.
explain this to the podcast people.
Literally, Josh will leave this fucking
I'll
Christmas
put the tree up in November. It stays till Valentine's Day. Shut the fuck up.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Not you, all of you, because I
I
know
was
there's
just
gonna
like,
be some
when are
judgment
you-
out there.
I was just so tired of people asking us when we were gonna take the tree down, and I was like, "It's his
Yeah.
fucking house.
But
What am I supposed to do?"
But you know what? I think going forward, I'm gonna try to stop being as funny and lazy about it, and like.
But also do what makes you fucking happy. It's your house.
No,
Those
do what
people
makes
pay
me
bills, you
happy,
don't
but
know.
also like I have a slick mouth, so like when people constantly keep telling me to do shit, and like I don't tell you how to live your life, so stop fucking telling me how to live my life.
I hate that I'm that way as well.
I
Like,
hate that I'm
like,
that way, but like
I'm actually very agreeable, but if you get like judgy about something,
Same.
I absolutely
I'm fucking
will
quick with the razor blade.
Well, that or all
I
like if
snap.
you're like, oh, why don't you like? I could have been planning to take down the tree today, and if you're like, oh, why is your tree still up? I will, on principle, I will keep it up now.
Yeah, literally. I'll keep it up for another day actually because you wanted to say some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Run your mouth again.
Like
but-
I could have had the box. I could have had the box in my hand. Like, oh, why is your tree up? And I'd be like, toss that. Be like, well, now it's up. Now it's up.
But I genuinely think this year I will
Yeah, it's up
definitely
to
be
you
putting
next
up a little bit, like putting it up same time, like in November, middle of November, or like early on in November, and then taking it down probably before or by New Year's.
Okay.
And that's only because it gets in the way.
It does.
It does.
It
Yeah.
has all the decorations on it and it gets in the way. So if I bump into it accidentally in February, I just destroyed a fucking decoration that I had and now I don't have it for next December.
Yeah.
Great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Also-
that's just irresponsible.
Can we talk about the fact that people do not like to reuse shit? First of all, nobody gives a fuck that you're wearing the same outfit as last year, or that you're wearing the same outfit as last week, or whatever the fuck. And then also the fact that people feel the need to redo everything all of the time. They need to redo their decorations. They need to redo all the things. Everything needs to be brand new and different, and all this other stuff. I'm like, why are you putting yourself in that financial kind of position?
Yeah. Oh
You
my
don't
God.
need to do that.
This
Reuse the
sweater
shit
that
you
I'm
have.
wearing, chat,
Yeah.
is
Chat.
I think I've worn it on 3 separate, if not 3 consecutive Thanksgivings.
Holidays, yeah. Mhm.
And guess what?
this is my Thanksgiving grandpa sweater.
I was gonna say I may even be wearing it this Thursday. So
I will be wearing it as well.
you never know.
Yeah. Honestly, I usually just for holidays that I have participated in, it's usually just a recycled work outfit with like a different pair of shoes.
As
Like,
it fucking should be.
I
Also,
just-
if you want to come with us to any of our holiday festivities, feel free.
oh,
Oh my
God,
God,
what an
he-
invite!
Oh my
Yeah,
God, he's
no,
getting invited
so-
on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not cutting that
this is incredible. Yeah, no, but the thing is too, and I will say over the years, like I've been in relationships, so it's not that I'm not going to any holidays, but
Yeah.
I'm usually doing it with my partner's
Definitely,
family,
definitely.
which
Yeah.
is also
Stressful.
it is. But I
Sometimes.
will say, I've been lucky that it hasn't been, but it's
Mhm.
actually been like super fulfilling because I
Oh.
feel it's nice that they
Mhm.
want me there, and it's nice that they're not judging me for not being with my family. That like I've been lucky with a couple of partners where like their families were always really great to me,
Mm-hmm.
and always wanted to be around and included, which is awesome. And if you have that, amazing. And if you don't have that, I'm honestly like, I'm sorry, like
I was
that
gonna
people
say,
suck.
if you have the opposite of that, like I have been in my own situations where there have been like semi-racist family members that made it a little bit difficult for me sometimes. Like you, as much as you love your partner, you do not need to put yourself in that position. And I think that your partner should be understanding of the fact that you're not going to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, that you're protecting yourself. I would hope that your partner would want you to protect yourself just like they would protect you.
Well,
You know what
I
I'm
was gonna say, like, to kind of go more on that, I think that more partners need to be more proactive.
Yeah.
Like if they know that, like, I don't know, just this is always the example. Like if you were dating someone who was white
Mhm.
and he knows that he has family members that like are racist,
Mm-hmm.
he needs to be proactive and be like, yo, like, I'm not saying they have to change the way they feel, but like Uncle Steve better not say some shit,
Yeah.
or I will like don't passively prepare your partner,
Mhm.
prepare your family.
Yes. Good. Go off.
Like
actually.
and just
Go
honestly,
off,
like
Ryan.
honestly, like don't. I hear you what you're saying. Like
Mhm.
understand why your partner's protecting themselves, of course.
Yes.
You should also actively make sure that everyone on your side, like you're inviting your partner into this environment.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
You need to then prepare the environment to embrace them, or
Yes.
at least not ostracize them. Like it's not
Mhm.
like the whole passive you don't have to come to Thanksgiving because I know I have racist Uncle Steve. No, racist Uncle Steve shouldn't be coming to Thanksgiving.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
also, can we normalize that? Don't invite the people in the extended family that
Yeah.
make other people in the extended family uncomfortable
Yep.
Let's add
because
on
they're
to that.
just because we're all family.
Let's
Yeah,
add
fuck
on to that. Don't invite the problematic family members.
Yeah,
It doesn't
that's what I
matter if
mean,
it's
yeah.
an extended family members. There have been instances where we've had immediate family members
Sure.
cause a lot of issues over the years and everything. And um it's not cute, it's not cool, and
Not
a
very
lot of
demure.
times it causes way
I
more
hate you for that.
unnecessary
Sorry.
it causes way more unnecessary drama than needs to happen.
Yeah.
And a lot of times there's some innocent bystanders who just come to the family gathering because they had the availability, and they become collateral in like a lineage of either
Family
really
drama.
fucked up inappropriate remarks, and it just
Mhm.
sucks. It sucks because you feel like you inherently put them in this uncomfortable position when this could have been avoided entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and you didn't have a say in who was coming to the event.
That's
And
the other thing too, is just because they're family doesn't mean that they have to be included.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
my personal
yeah,
opinion. Like, just because they're your
I
family
agree.
does not mean that they have to, by default, be included in everything. If you have somebody that's like problematic or somebody that is like not your favorite, and maybe you're hosting Thanksgiving at your fucking house, you don't have to invite them.
And if you don't have a great or close relationship with someone in the considered family, like that, you don't have to play pretend.
Yeah,
You
and
don't have
that
to act
part.
like you know. You don't have to like put on a mask or a facade. Like you really could just simply say your hi, go about your day,
right,
say your bye. I've run into that situation. So I have a huge family sometimes,
sure.
and I've run into that situation so many times where there's like a few specific individuals over time and here and there that I just was like, I'll say hi to you, but I don't really know you all that well. But my family says that we're family,
Right.
and
That's another thing, to be honest with you, that I feel like I kind of harp on a off holiday basis. Like,
Mhm.
if somebody makes me uncomfortable, I'm sure as shit not going to make myself uncomfortable for their comfort. Like, it's not,
Hmm.
there's no reason for me to be uncomfortable when you make me uncomfortable just so you can be more comfortable.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, let's say
Absolutely.
that, like, Ryan's in the room and you piss me off for some reason and I'm uncomfortable and I'm upset about something or whatever. I'm not going to mask myself for your fucking comfort.
Right.
That's fucked up to me.
Because
Why
I
is
didn't do that for you. Yeah.
Right, exactly. That's not fair to me. So we're just gonna do this as whatever it is that's going on, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm very, and I agree. Not just during the holidays, in general. And I think
Same.
anybody who knows this, like knows me any kind of well, knows like I do not do the whole like let's be like the whole like fake front thing.
Fuck that.
If I don't, and I'm not confrontational, but like if I don't like you, it's gonna be very evident. It might not be evident to you,
Yeah.
but it'll definitely be evident to the people that know
That
me
know me,
because
yeah.
I will not talk to you. Like I just like I'm not gonna come at you. I'm not gonna be like, look at this fucking idiot. But I'm definitely not. But I'm definitely not gonna embrace you and be like, oh, like I'm like it won't be those situations where like, oh, I can't believe fucking Steve's coming. Hey, Steve. Like no, I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
no,
like,
fuck that.
hey,
Yeah.
like I'm not. I just and
I
I'm
might address you if you're lucky.
God, I've
Right.
run into that issue so many times.
I'm so not about it, and I'm only 29, but I'm too old for this shit. Like I
Yeah,
can't
man.
I can't do the
29?
fake. I don't even do that at work. 29. I don't even do that shit at work. Like there are people that I've worked with in the past. And once again, I'm the person doesn't know, but like they come through and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? I
Mhm.
guess like, and they walk away and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Brother, ugh.
Brother.
Like I can't stand that guy. But I'm once again not confrontational, but I just think that in these situations to protect your peace, it's okay, like Josh said, to say your highs, do just like your wave or your white guy head nod. Like I don't care.
Mhm.
Like do whatever you got to do to get through the situation,
Also,
and don't and don't cater them like you were saying.
yeah, fuck that. Don't cater them. And also, talking about protecting your peace, if you need a little break during this holiday, if you happen to be going out and going somewhere and whatever, and you need a little break and a little breath of fresh air, there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking a walk around the block, take somebody's dog out for a little walk, go to the park, whatever it is that
Yeah.
you need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Whichever
like,
family member you're with that day, their house, take their dog for a walk, pop on URL versus IRL, take
Yeah.
a trip around the block, and then come back and pause us
Yeah.
and listen to the rest later. Like,
Yeah.
One time I took a walk around the block and smoked a joint and then came back
I was
in,
gonna
and
say, I'm
it
not
was-
talking about walking around the block with your cousins. I'm just saying if you need to walk around the
oh,
block.
that's true. That is the thing. Is I always forget
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Or do that if that's what.
If that's what you
If
need
that's
to
your
do,
favorite part of Thanksgiving, go
then
off.
fucking do that.
Go off. Like that.
Have a
Like I
change
said,
of clothes in your cars.
that one cousin that you like yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I'm very much about just filling your cup, protecting your peace, however you want to word it.
Definitely.
Yes.
During these
definitely.
times, I just think it's so important that you don't have to crack under the pressure of what people are telling you you're supposed to feel or be like or act like.
Yep.
And to-
It's all about you, baby.
And it's all made up. And here we go. I said it again. Now my
Mhm.
first time saying it, but everything is made up. It's not
Everything's
real.
made up.
That's not real.
It's
It's
not
not
real.
real. No, but you make a very valid point, and like another thing I want to say on top of that too is you're not alone. For whoever's listening, you're not the only person
No.
dealing with this. Maybe it's not exactly synonymous to a situation that you might be dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, you are not the only one going through a struggle. And that's not me, because who am I to tell you, oh, you should be sucking it up because other people have it hard
Right.
equally or just as hard. No,
Yeah, don't compare
absolutely.
your hard.
Get it out. Get it out. Be upset. You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to feel these emotions. But what I am saying is that understand that you are absolutely not by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many of us that feel you, that we feel the isolation, we feel the separation, we and you are very much seen in that realm. Like you are very much seen in that realm every holiday season,
Mhm.
whether people are consciously thinking about it or not. It is very well seen, and you might not know
Yeah.
it, but it is.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know what?
absolutely.
Actually, for anybody that happens to be in therapy, maybe do a little prep session beforehand. I know it's like a little late now, but
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
even going into like Christmas or New Year's or
Absolutely.
whatever, like try to do a little like maybe like your week before or whatever. If you need to schedule something with your therapist or your counselor or your whoever it is, maybe like do a little prep work so that you feel a little bit more comfortable during the holiday. Whether
Mhm.
you're gonna spend the holiday by yourself or you're gonna spend the holiday with your family or your friends or whatever it is, like maybe do a little bit of prep work. I know that for me personally, I have a very weird like relationship with Halloween. And in the beginning of October, I start talking to my therapist about Halloween coming up because, as some of you probably remember, I lost my best friend the day before Halloween. And so for me, like going into the Halloween season every year, like everybody's so excited about like who are you going to be, who are you going to be, who are you going to be. And for me, when somebody tells me they're going to be dressed up as Velma, it makes me not want to go anywhere because I get upset. So if you need to do a little bit of prep work prior, there's nothing wrong with that either. And I know that it might be a little bit late because like Thursday's literally right around the corner. But maybe you can help yourself a little bit before Christmas or New Year's.
Yeah, like if you're somebody who's spending that day alone, like I know it sounds like a lot of prep, but it might help if like you literally plan out your day,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
you're off, right? Like I mean,
I did that for that
hopefully.
year during Christmas. I ordered Cheesecake Factory the day before and put it in my fridge.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
wanted Cheesecake Factory.
but even if it's like, you're spending the day alone and, you make yourself a to-do list, right? Because you're treating, like I said earlier, you're going to treat it like a regular day off. So you
Yeah.
spend, hey, I'm going to sleep until 10 and then I'm going to clean and then I'm going to take the dogs on a long walk. Like, whatever you have to do to get through the day, like to prepare yourself mentally. I
Mhm.
also think, and this is a big thing that I've been saying in general to a lot of people around me lately, but I think that also don't avoid what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Like if you are sad, because I'm not gonna lie, like once again, to be a little candid, like I do get really sad on these holidays.
Mhm.
I think I get a little bit better at it every year, but it is sad because I think I would love to have like a place to go that like are people that like I have blood relation to that I really enjoy being around.
Absolutely.
But I just don't, you right? Like that's the
Yeah.
fact. I don't,
Yeah.
and what I'm not gonna do is go and pretend like it's
Yeah.
all okay. I'd still rather be sad at home. But what
Well,
I
'cause
was
that
saying,
can make it worse.
absolutely. And the thing is too is like what I was gonna really get into is that like feel your feelings.
Yeah.
So maybe you do make that to-do list and you're going through it and it hits noon and you're just like, wow, like you happen to open up Instagram and you see like all your friends like with their families having a great time. Feel that. Like if you want to have like a good cry, like a good, it happens, man.
Yeah.
And I like just because it's a negative emotion doesn't mean it's like,
It needs to be shoved down.
yeah, it doesn't mean it's
Because it's just going to
detrimental.
get worse. It's just going to snowball.
It's okay to feel, and honestly there have been so many times, like not on holidays, just in general though, where like I just allow, whether it's crying or just like letting myself feel an emotion, where afterward I honestly, it feels like my chest has just been like completely released. Like I just feel like so light,
Mhm.
and then I can get on with my day, to be
Mhm.
honest. Like
I love crying. I'm a Cancer. I love crying.
yeah, and the thing is too though, right? Like we always think of like releasing emotion as crying, but it
Mhm.
could just be allowing yourself, because a lot of people, and it works in small doses, to when you feel a negative emotion to try and redirect, and that
Mhm.
works, right? Like if you're at work and you don't want to cry, you redirect. But
Not
but
me. I'll go to the bathroom.
sure, but that's a good way to do it instead. But
Yeah.
if avoiding, say you're working on a big project, and you're like, I'm at work, I need to, redirect is good for a short term, but I think eventually you need to confront those feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very
and
important.
if you're gonna spend the holiday alone, it's honestly a good time to confront
Yep.
those
That's
feelings.
true.
When my father passed away, it was a few weeks before Christmas, and that was easily one of the worst Christmases I've ever had.
Mhm.
And then the year after that, um, it still felt like the same sting.
Sure.
And because there were so many events leading up to it that were so similarly placed from the year before, it continued to make the holidays hard.
Mhm.
So far, the year after that year, it got a little better, but I've allowed myself to stop feeling so guilty for feeling so sad during the holidays all the
Mhm.
time.
And that's it. Yeah.
But I that doesn't mean that I don't feel sad, because quite honestly, I think every holiday season quite literally has been ruined for me. But I try to embrace it as much as possible with an open mindset
Yeah.
and go
Yeah.
from there.
And
Like
if
anything
and if
else,
you
right?
yeah, and if you can't, like, that's okay too. Like sometimes you need a little bit of extra time to heal. I know that like for me, this Halloween was very difficult, and like I said, that was a whole thing that I had to prep for because my best friend died the day before Halloween. You know what I mean? So like it's okay to need a little extra time and to like give yourself the grace that you might need in order to eventually feel better. And I'm not saying that you're ever gonna feel like 100%, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to need extra time too, and you shouldn't like not allow yourself of that for other people's comfort. Like I was saying before, it's like not fair
Yeah.
to you that you're trying to mask how you're feeling for the comfort of other people. You know what I mean? And I think there's this other thing with, you mentioned Instagram a second ago, and of course that's where
Yeah.
this whole idea, this whole fucking podcast came from. But there's this whole like, I think we really need to get over the performative gratitude. Like I can't
Mm.
stand the performative gratitude. That shit.
Yeah.
I even with anything that just happened, whether it's like an event, I'm not even talking about Thanksgiving, I'm not talking about New Year, whatever it is, like people do this big post, right? Like people love to do the big post where they do the whole long caption and they're like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this, and that. You don't have to fucking do that. And you
Mm.
don't have to feel the need to perform like because people are here for a show. Fuck that. Honestly, if you like go to Thanksgiving and let's say everybody's doing these fucking ding 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 speeches and shit,
Mm-hmm.
like it's okay for you to not do that. And if you are grateful for little things throughout the day, like, oh my God, you remember that I was a vegetarian. Like, thanks so much
Sure. Sure.
you know what I mean? Like that, or like, thanks for having tofurkey here for me, or thanks for making the mac and cheese that you make really well, or thanks for like even inviting me into your house, or like, thanks for hosting Thanksgiving. Whatever the fuck it is, or like, thanks for leaving me alone and not pressing me to come to Thanksgiving. Like when I told you no and you left me alone and you let me do what I needed to do for myself. Thank you. It's fine for you to just do that because that is also enough. You know, you don't have to do this big fucking ridiculous speech and shit. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't have a good vocabulary. Like trying to speak to a large group of people that's not URL versus IRL or like anybody on the internet, I get super self-conscious of my vocabulary and I can't do it.
There's just no expectation. You don't
There's
need,
also no need.
there's no need. Like you can post if you want to, but really you don't have to.
And
Also,
you
no
can
one
see
says
which,
you have to.
and you can
It's-
see the people who feel like who are doing it because they feel like they have to.
It's-
Also, here's the other thing too: is if you're the person at the Thanksgiving table that wants to stand up and fucking tap your champagne glass and do
Go
the
ahead.
speech, go ahead, but don't put other people in the position to feel like they need to do. Don't do the "What are you grateful for?" kind
Yeah.
of thing. Don't fucking do that.
I'm
Don't
not a
do
big
that.
fan of putting people on the spot in general. And we were
Yeah.
kind of talking about this pre-recording, but
Yes.
like it's so hard because you have no idea what's going through that person's mind.
Yeah.
Once again, if that's the person who's literally here gritting through the holiday and bearing it,
That
just
could
to,
be the straw
ju-
that breaks the camel's back.
just to like, because some people, maybe like, for example, like you love your mom and your mom really wants to be at Thanksgiving. You hate going to Thanksgiving. You're there and you're being quiet and you're doing it for her. And now someone's putting you on the spot to talk. You're like, bruh, I don't even want to fucking be here. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
like,
Yep.
like I was thankful that everyone was leaving me alone until you just put me on the spot. Like,
Yeah. Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, you don't know what everyone. So I think in general, putting people on the spot and then judging them, we do this a lot, right? Like,
yeah.
like, and we do this on the internet and comment sections. We do this in real life where like, what are you thankful for? I don't really know. And they're like, what do you mean you don't know? And they're laughing and joking, but like, they mean it. Like,
Yeah.
they're kidding on the square. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
And that almost feels like the pressure aspect too, because it's like if you say I don't know what I'm thankful for, innately they're gonna be
So-
like, what? You're not thankful for your family? Like you're not thankful for everything? Well, you asked me what I'm thankful for,
Also-
and it's my choice of what I want to say.
Yeah,
what I'm
also
thankful
Captain
for.
Literal Man. Obviously, there's certain things that we all know that I'm thankful for. You're asking me on the spot. I'm trying to think of something creative,
Yeah.
and now you're just judging me for not saying anything at all. It's like it's all silly performative.
It's just like you're trying to siphon me for a compliment.
if you
Like, what
ding
do you mean?
if you ding your glass and make
Mhm.
everybody share, it honestly also what it gives me is vibes of like a one-up contest.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, Uncle
Keeping
Steve,
up with the Joneses.
yeah, but it's like sorry, but if you have an Uncle Steve, I promise I don't have one that I don't like.
All
It's
the
just-
Steves, we love you.
It's just a name that I made up, but like Uncle Steve always does a big performative grateful and oh great, now I'm next to Uncle Steve. I don't know what the fuck and they're gonna judge mine because it's not as good as Steve's or
I-
Josh's.
I've
you
been
know?
in instances where it would be like, all right, so and so, what are you thankful for? Oh, I'm thankful for my family. And everybody goes, oh, that's
my-
great. Then it goes to the
yeah.
next person and they're like, well, if I have to say it, this life that I've been given. And then they go on a monologue.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then they go on a monologue like
become a
they're, like
preacher.
they're Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm like, I'm not trying to like kill your buzz right now, but
Yeah, but you know that the thing is that
you are
know
just
the
trying to
difference.
one up the person who
Yes.
just said I just love you guys and I'm
Yes.
thankful for you guys. Like, why do you need to do that?
You know,
Yeah.
you know the difference between when someone is being very deep or heavy, genuinely versus when they're doing it to get a reaction.
As
from,
soon as
from
you
the
hear
group.
someone say, "Well, where do I even begin?" You know it's game over.
I know. here
That
we
person
fucking
is so
go.
That
self-absorbed.
person's gonna be talking for the next fucking 5 minutes, like easily.
That's what I'm
after
gonna
that.
say during the outro.
And
This
they,
Yeah.
episode.
and they,
Say, where do I even
they
begin?
plan that shit, but you know they were getting their nice little outfit ready, and they're like, all right, I know exactly.
They
what I
fucking had a notebook paper stuffed into their shirt. Like,
They're gonna pull it out like the
I got
vows.
this. I got this.
They're reading it in front of the mirror, and their wife is like, "Honey, we're leaving." No, I have to practice my thankful first.
Literally
like,
practicing their charisma like they're a fucking sim. Relax. You're all right.
Honey, I have to make sure that the kids think I have Riz.
Not Riz. Not at Thanksgiving. Oh my
Thanksgiving
goodness.
Riz.
We never get to say what we were thankful for.
Yeah. What should we? I guess should we fucking do that? Ding ding ding.
Is that
Should I
annoying?
do like a little sound effect champagne glass?
Sure,
right now?
go ahead. Yeah. Is there something you want to say you're thankful for so that maybe the audience can say something they're thankful for? On top of that.
So although we,
Should we actually do the thankful for circle?
I mean, it's
Triangle.
I mean, it's
Square.
totally up to you guys. The thing is that the difference with this setting and the settings that we were just describing is that if you don't want to, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Although we would love to hear
Mhm.
because you can comment on Spotify and the YouTube if you want. Like, and we will not judge you if you don't, of
Yeah.
course.
Mhm.
If you want to talk about like what you're thankful for, we'd love to hear it. But yeah, in this space with the three of us, I don't think any of us is going to judge the other if we don't say anything, and we're definitely not going to judge you guys. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I think also like the other thing is too, like, yeah, sure, we're thankful for certain things, but we're also being very realistic about other things that might be stressing us out that are coming up.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's absolutely fucking normal. It doesn't have to be all one or the other. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean,
100%.
honestly, like, and maybe I'll take a stab at it. I think that there's a way that you can be thankful. You should be thankful. Like, you should be thankful for the good things in your life. I will
Mhm.
say that. I do
Mhm.
believe in that. But there's a way to acknowledge that things aren't always going so great just because there's things like
Absolutely.
and the problem is, right, is that we live in this I always say an or instead of and society. It's like you're either thankful or you're an asshole. You know, like
Ooh.
whereas like no, like I'm thankful and I'm not doing so hot right now. Like and I or and there are some days where I don't feel as thankful as I do other days. Like we live in like I said, we live in a society where it's always or instead of and. Like things aren't always mutually exclusive.
Mhm.
And maybe I'll take a stab at the thankful part.
He's
like,
cooking. Go.
like you know what I mean. So like for me, like chat, what
Internet.
I think what I'm thankful for this year, it's been a really tough, like 11 months
Mhm.
this year for sure. Like there were so many times this year where I didn't feel thankful for anything at all, straight up.
I agree.
And what I will say though is that because of all those times, I'm thankful that I'm here right now and I overcame all those things. Like I'm thankful for my own resilience.
Mhm.
I'm thankful for the resilience of others around me, and I'm thankful for the connections that I do have with the people that I care about.
Mhm.
Whether it's my girlfriend or it's you guys or it's my other, very close friends. Like in general, I'm glad and thankful for the resolve overall that I've seen this year. Shit, my dog on January 24th couldn't walk and we had
Mhm.
to do a major reconstructive surgery.
Yeah.
Talk
Oh my
about
goodness.
talk about resilient. You guys know my little Sadie.
Yeah, Sadie
She
baby.
was never sad about it. Like,
Yeah.
and that was so inspiring, right? I know it sounds silly because it's a dog, but it's not, because I've never felt so scared or alone in that like recovery process. Like
And she was a freaking champ.
Yeah, she was.
a whole time, like the whole time.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was so inspiring to me. I was like, you know what? Like, if she can't walk and is still trying to jump off the couch and like try and play outside and is excited to go on walks, even though 50% of her legs don't work,
Mhm.
I can dust myself, and not in the like the boomer way, but there are times where I can dust myself off and be a little bit more resilient. And that's why in the coming months after that, when things are happening to me personally, I felt like I was able to get through it. And it's been a year where I've really become thankful for how resilient I am, because I didn't even
Mhm.
realize how resilient I was until some stuff happened.
Mhm.
Like so much has happened this year. Like, to be candid, like I totaled my car in
Mhm.
December, right before the
Mhm.
start of the new year. Had to find and pay for a new car. I didn't have a car for a month. Like, you know, obviously, like all of us right now that are like normal people, like finances are going to be tight,
Mhm.
just being a person trying to survive right now is hard. Family stuff. Like I already told you guys that I don't celebrate holidays with my family. Imagine what it's like the other 10 months of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And through all of that, I'm thankful for my resolve, and I'm thankful for the way that I've been able to use the things that I'm going through to keep going, because there are so many days when I don't want to.
Now that is
Mhm.
definitely a very resilient mindset.
It is a super resilient
Yeah.
mindset, but I also feel like it was nice to hear such a balanced response. And I was
Yeah.
actually going to suggest that we do like a balanced, like, even though this, I'm so grateful for
Oh,
this,
100%.
Yeah.
rather than just
100%.
doing that. I'm so grateful for blah 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 blah. So you like literally set the tone. Absolutely set
Yeah.
the
Good
tone.
job, Ryan.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, guys. Thanks.
Do you want me to go next?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Well, cheesily enough, I'm very thankful for the both of you, and I am very
Stop it.
thankful for our dynamic in life. I couldn't have asked for a better like dynamic between all of us, and just like having you guys in my life, I couldn't have asked for more. But also, I think to add on to that, this year has been probably one of my most challenging. The last 2 years of my life have definitely been the most challenging years in my entire life, and um this year, I'll be honest, I've felt way more defeated and low than I ever have in my entire life. And it has been a very hard year. But I will say that as we are now moving into this holiday season, even with some of the stress that I have been facing on top of that, I couldn't be more thankful for some of the people that have just stuck by me in my corner when they had absolutely every reason to abandon me and leave me and um not be there, because I don't think I have this problem where I tend to isolate a lot, and I think a lot of people who really know me know I do that. Um I don't I don't think I was always like this, and I think it's obviously become a lot more noticeable after losing my father, but I will say that I am very thankful for those people in my corner. I'm very thankful for my immediate family for being as understanding as they can be when it comes to some of my separation in life and my disconnect in life. Um because a lot of times I feel like I'm just floating through the days and the weeks and the months,
Sure.
specifically this year. And uh but so much has happened this year that I just, again, I have to piggyback off of that resiliency that you were mentioning, because which I commend you for your resiliency, and I also have to acknowledge, sometimes look in the mirror and acknowledge my own resiliency in many ways where I really wanted to give up and I just chose not to. And that, I believe, says something enough to me that I can keep going and handle it, and I guess I can be thankful for that. And I'm immediately thankful for all of you guys for listening to me say all that.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm thankful for.
Damn, I feel like we got a trend going here. Except I don't have a good vocabulary, so I'm not going to use big words.
That's fine.
I mean,
We're not gonna judge you.
I
Yeah.
know. I mean, I think that kind of keeping on trend, it's so funny that both of you guys said like similar things to each other, because that was the first thing that popped in my brain as well, is like I'm very thankful for my own delusion and determination, I think. Because if there's one thing that I am in this life, it is determined and delusional. That's absolutely true. And I think that I've been like that most of my life, and I think that that's a character trait of my own that I'm super thankful for, because this has been a financially tough year for me, because the industry that I work in has been not working for a very long time, and I've seen a lot of performers in my industry have that be their downfall, and I'm very thankful that like I learned how to prepare myself for this situation at a really young age, and that I was always so determined to like have myself be in a decent position no matter what, so that I had time to survive. I'm also oddly thankful for the slowdown in a sense, because I think that for the past like 10 years of my life, it's been very like go, 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 and I haven't had time to process a lot of things, and I don't have time to like sit back and even realize what's going on a lot of the times. So it's been interesting that like this slowdown of my industry has been something that I turned out to be grateful for, because if I hadn't had the slowdown in my industry, I wouldn't have started this podcast, and I wouldn't have anybody listening right now, and I wouldn't have this creative outlet that I so desperately needed. In a sense, over the past like 10 years, I really became like disconnected with myself because I was so fucking busy all the time. So I'm very grateful for the fact that it's slowed down and like taught me to like re-enjoy life a little bit. And I think also like I'm very grateful for the fact that I even moved back to this state, because for such a long time I had like been talking about it and saying that it was something that I wanted to do and something that I just was like wanting for myself, and it always felt like the wrong time, you know. And I'm also very grateful for the amount of time that I have been given, because I think time has always kind of been on my side, and it's really like put me in the position that I need to be in when I needed to be there. So I think the fact that like I've had enough time, or as much time as I have had to heal, and I haven't been like pushed into healing, has been really nice. But yeah, very grateful for my delusion and my determination.
Full blown Delulu.
We love a
Full-blown
Delulu.
Delulu.
Oh my goodness, that's such
Yeah.
a great way to put it. I think.
I mean, because if I wasn't delusional, like I think in my in my brain, like me saying that I'm grateful for myself being delusional is because I believe in myself so fucking much that I don't have an option to fail, because I really think that like whatever it is that I want to do in my brain, I can do it.
Well, it's also great that you acknowledge like how much of a lose-win it kind of was for you with the industry kind of collapsing in its own way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's fully collapsed or collapsing, but it's
On hold.
it's on hold, and it's having its issues in its own realm. And it's
AI's
great
taking
that
over
you
the world.
can yeah, you can kind of acknowledge that it's a good lose-win for you in some
Yeah.
capacity.
I mean, like, I feel like that's how you, I don't want to say that's how you have to look at everything in life, because it's not how you have to look at everything in life. But I do believe that, like, words are very powerful, and the way that you think about things will impact the way that things come out. And I think that as a person, I heard something one time that, like, somebody said something about, like, there's no point in worrying or stressing when if the outcome is going to be one way or another. That's just what's going to happen at the end of the day regardless. So like you worrying is not going to help the outcome by any means. You're just worrying twice for no
Yeah,
reason, or you're just
absolutely.
stressing yourself out 2 times for no reason. And so for me, like, I don't know, I need to find a way to be happy that whatever it is that's happening is happening, because I think that everything happens when it's supposed to, and things happen in certain timings for certain reasons and that kind of thing.
Well, it's cool because now you can kind of take solace in things that are absolutely out of your control.
Yeah.
And also, you can now embrace change a little more.
Yeah.
Because in some situations, maybe you didn't experience this right away, but like some people in your industry probably had to fall on their face immediately after this all happened. And you didn't.
I mean,
it sucked for you, but you
yeah,
didn't.
it's hard financially, but I know that regardless, at the end of the day, I will be successful and that I'm going to be good.
Yeah, definitely.
Because look at me right now. Like, to me, your level of success is determined by like your happiness and how you're feeling about yourself and your life, and you need to do the things that are like bringing you joy and filling your cup and making you happy and all that kind of stuff, and like doing the things that you love doing. And even though something that I love doing was put on hold, I just shifted into something else that I love doing so that I had a purpose every
Right.
day, you know, and then I had a
Yeah.
purpose for
Yeah.
the next week. And for me right now, it's this. Like, I look forward to every Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So to kind of bring it back in,
Yep.
when you're at your holiday dinner, or you're eating appetizers before dinner comes out, and they're like, "Oh, like you're still at that job, or like you still haven't figured out what you want to do yet." Nope, with a smile. No, I have not, and I'm okay, and even if you're not, like maybe preparing yourself beforehand to be like, you're not there yet. You haven't
Yeah.
figured it out yet.
Mhm.
Like it's not like there's
And that's okay, because
Yeah.
listen, success is fucking temporary. Feeling like you have everything figured the fuck out is so temporary. This is a conversation I was getting into the other day. Sorry to like take the spotlight from you real quick,
go.
but feeling like you have everything figured the fuck out is so temporary. The past 10 years, I felt like I had everything figured the
Bro,
fuck out.
Mike Tyson said a quote that I always think about when I hear people who have these super duper planned out processes. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Like
Oh.
figuratively or literally.
Yeah.
And I know that we see these like posts and like commercials and things like that, but it's so true. There are so many people, and I hate using famous people as a barometer, but like it's true though. There are certain people who like didn't hit it until they were like in their 40s,
40s, 50s, yep.
50,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
and they have fond memories from before that time.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't consider that time as a waste.
Yeah.
I think about that stuff all the time. It's just there's just so much outside pressure, and once again, reeling it back in, it always gets brought up in these times
Always
during
during
the
the
holidays.
Yes, it does.
That is
Always.
literally the check-in time, right? Like I said, you could love everyone in your family, and they're not even necessarily doing anything inherently wrong. They're
Yeah.
they're honestly asking you. So like you're still like they don't even mean it in a bad way. You have a healthy relationship with this person. It's just
They're trying to get you to talk. So how about shifting the focus and talking about something that you love, even if they ask
Yeah.
you a question that you necessarily don't want to answer.
Yeah.
Talk about something that you love, and I feel like if you can keep that in mind this holiday season to like talk about the things that you love and to make you feel like you're successful because they're filling your cup,
yeah.
that's what we need to focus on.
Yep.
I feel like
Yeah.
this has been such a sick episode, like of us just really dialing in.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Like, I can't wait to listen to this on
Yep,
Thanksgiving.
I can't
to be
wait to
honest
listen
with
to
you
this.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Wow. Yeah, guys, I think we should start wrapping it up here, but I really feel like my exclamation point statement out of this whole podcast would be to make sure that your cup is filled and your cup is full. Don't worry about fulfilling what other people want for you, or what other people are looking for from you.
Yeah, and I think if I was gonna, cap any, all the opinions and things that I've said today, I think the big one is that although we highlighted a lot of the things that we see that are negative during these times, these holiday times, there is so much good. I said it a little bit earlier, but like I do think there's so much good that goes on, and you can be a part of that good. And I think also just trying to be as positive as possible. I know it sounds so cheesy, but
Yeah.
there have been so many days where I wake up and I choose to be positive.
Yep.
And even if I was faking it for the first couple of hours, it ends up manifest. Like just having a more positive mindset really does help, especially during these times when every negative opinion can come through, whether it's the financial stress of the holidays,
Yeah.
your family issues, what we're just talking about, career program, all of those things. If you're feeling all of that and you just choose to be positive, not only will it help you, but it will help the people around you as well. And yeah, just continuously try to fill your cup every day and just, be as happy as you can. I know it's hard right now, but like, and I hope that we can be a part of that, indulge in the things that you like. Bree just said that. And
Yep.
that means like, if you're having a really shitty day, watch your favorite movie, listen to your favorite. I have like I said, I don't spend holidays with the family. You know what I do every Christmas Eve? I watch Die Hard because it is a Christmas movie. And I have a great
It
fucking
is a
time.
Christmas movie.
And I'm gonna make my girlfriend watch Die Hard with me this Christmas Eve.
Hell yeah.
And it's gonna be a great time. And that's enough for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
and whatever that looks like to you, do that. And
Yep.
that's what I would say. Just positivity.
What about you, Josh? Any last words?
If I had to round it out, I would say I know we're trying to remain positive, but also don't feel forced to remain positive at all times. You are allowed to feel that sadness as well. Feel it. The holidays can be rough and very tough. And there is no one that has the authority or right to tell you that you are not allowed to feel the emotions or emotional. And the holidays get me very choked up, and usually they never really used to. I actually used to very much so enjoy the holidays.
Right.
But I
Same.
will, yeah, I used to very much so enjoy them. But I will say that just do not water yourself down this holiday season. Do not
Wring yourself dry.
do wring yourself dry even, yeah, and
Mhm.
and absolutely do not hold yourself back from feeling the things you want to actually feel, and maybe even saying the things you want to say with certain limitations, because you're not obligated to spill all of your most deep dark secrets. But if you need to talk, talk. And I think we mentioned it earlier in the podcast. It was either Ryan or Bree saying it. Maybe a week or two before the holiday gathering, get yourself a session with your therapist or counselor, or get someone you is a confidant and someone you can confide into that comfortably makes you feel at peace every single time you're talking to them, and just do it. Just
Yeah.
offload, and let's hope for your sake that that offloads a lot of pressure leading up to these holiday events. And if it doesn't completely mitigate it, that is so fine.
Yeah. There's nothing
That
wrong
is
with
so
making a
fine.
plan.
There's
Yep.
nothing wrong with making a plan, because at least you took the initiative to remain proactive.
Yeah, damn right. Let's roll that freaking outro music. Are you fucking kidding me? No way. All right, talk to you soon on the next URL versus IRL. Well, you guys, happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I felt like I'm so glad that Ryan talked me into doing this episode, because I was like, maybe I'll just take a week off. And he's like, maybe what about the people that might need some help during their time off during this holiday season? And I was like, you know what? You're damn right. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As always, I'm going to leave all the links in the description below that you could absolutely need. And the one link that I want you to pay attention to the most, if any, is the link to our direct Instagrams, because if you guys need anybody to talk to during the holiday season, I am extremely open to it. You can reach me out to me on the URL versus IRL Instagram. You can reach out to me on my personal Instagram, and I'm sure Josh and Ryan feel the same way. You guys, we love you and we absolutely appreciate you so much, and we are so thankful for you guys and so grateful for you guys listening. I don't know what it is that you guys are doing right now, but whatever that may be, I appreciate you so much. So, with all that being said, make sure that your cup is filled and make sure that your cup is full before you take that anywhere else. I love you guys, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.